Now, the small farming town of Rawsonville in the Western Cape has been seriously affected by the last week's rains. Over 1,000 residents have had to be accommodated in community halls and churches after their homes were flooded. Most of those affected are from informal settlements along the Smalbla River. Reporter Nobesuthu Hejana is in Rawsonville to get an update for us. Nobesuthu, I know Gift of the Givers was there earlier this week in Rawsonville to assist, but of course 340, if not more, homes were destroyed in the floods in Rawsonville alone. How are these people being assisted in rebuilding their homes, and what other assistance are they getting at the moment?
Well, Baron, we heard from the municipal officials earlier on who were telling us that, this particular church or these local churches and community halls that are currently housing the victims, the accommodation will be until Tuesday next week, where they are planning to have a meeting with the residents to talk about the way forward. And one of the things, it includes the possibilities of the relocation of the people who are settling next to the Smalbla River that we know was flooded, and over 1,000 community members were displaced due to that. The area was inaccessible, and a lot of people received aid on Monday through various partnerships, which also include the Gift of the Givers, municipalities, as well as private donors from the Rawsonville area. But to talk about the situation and how the people are planning to move forward, I'm joined by one community member who is still residing in this community hall. Ma'am, just tell us about the situation. Obviously, you were brought here on Wednesday last week, and we've seen clear skies, not much of a rainfall. So I just want to find out from you, have you been able to go to your house and maybe check if maybe you are able to go back?
Yes, I was there at the house cleaning there, but it's still wet inside. But we are planning to go back there, but we are still working on the house to clean stuff and dry stuff and do our washing.
And in most cases, the disaster teams would give people sandbags and maybe sand to sort of like assist in drying their areas as part of the mop-up operations. So has the residents been able to receive such assistance from the local authorities or the disaster team?
I was there though, and I see there is sandbags. I think one of my neighbors put there some bags there, so I think there is nice. They put it around my house there. I see they do a lot of jobs there for us.
And just tell me, when are you planning to go back home? Because you do say you were there to check, but it's still wet. But do you think in this week or maybe over the weekend you'll be able to go back to your house?
Yes, I must go back because I must work there with my crash. So I'm still waiting for Patricia to bring me some mat and mattresses there and buckets for my kids to work with. And things like that.
Thank you so much. That was one of the residents from here. I'm not sure if we do have time to speak to the municipal official, Mr. Rayvon Bachis, who I was speaking to earlier on. And thank you so much for your time. Mr. Bachis, obviously we're talking to the residents about, their plans to go back home, but unofficial, what is the plan by the municipality to assist the residents to go back home, and what is the time frame?
Okay, there isn't a time frame, but from the municipality side, we are arranging a meeting for coming Tuesday, where we will have a meeting with all of the affected residents of Spookysdorp and Riverbank to discuss the way forward and also a possible reallocation.
Yes, and you were telling me that, obviously basic services are being provided to the people, like meals and so forth. Is it only for the people who are impacted, or anyone who's not in this particular church or housed in different community halls can still access those basic services like food?
Okay, as you are aware, you already covered that. The Gift of the Givers were here on Monday morning. So we handed out parcels to 2 families who were affected, and we supply meals as from last Wednesday here at the community hall. And as you can see here, a lot of the residents actually move out of the hall willingly to start rebuilding their lives. So yeah, we supply meals daily, and that is ongoing until next week. And also as to if we go forward, if we still must host them there, we will do that. Yes.
Thank you very much. I know it was an ambush, but thank you so much for your time.
You actually did, yeah.
All right. But that was Mr. Raven Barkis, who is the municipal official here in Rawsonville. We also heard from one of the residents who are still staying here in this community church, talking about the plans that she did go to her house to assess, but it's still wet. So we know that there will be a meeting next week, Tuesday, to sort of update the residents who are here as to the plans of the municipality. They are talking about possible plans to permanently relocate the people along the riverbank, and one of those discussions will also pertain the possibilities of moving to Worcester, as the municipality has also indicated before that they don't have a land here in Rawsonville, so they will be engaging with different stakeholders, which also include the Human Rights Commission, to see if the people who will be moved to Worcester, and also assess that particular space where they are planning to relocate the people.
Nobesuthu, just out of interest, we know that Jordan Hill-Lewis, the mayor of Cape Town, he's consistently been talking about the infrastructure plan in the city of Cape Town, a 120 billion rand plan that the city of Cape Town is taking on. But he did say that poorer communities will take centre stage when it comes to this infrastructure plan. However, when it comes to these floodings, every single year we see this situation in the Western Cape. So do we know that, part of that infrastructure plan, if preventing flooding and future flooding from happening, do we know that that is part of this infrastructure plan? Because yesterday you were in Makassar, also a community that's wedged between two rivers running through that community, being the East River and the Kells River, now there, the small Blah River. So it seems like when these rivers burst their banks, this is when these floodings occur, and that's when communities are being displaced. So is there a plan to basically sort out this from happening and preventing this from happening in the future?
So we do understand in most of the times the communities that become vulnerable are those who are building the informal settlements in low-lying areas. In Cape Town, for instance, an area called COVID in Fuleni, it was said or reported before that that particular site is a nature resort and people should not be building there, but they did, and they were flooded. So the Cape Town municipality has been saying that, it does not encourage people to build in such areas, and also the funding for housing is a national, they do get national assistance, but if the budgets are not allocated, then it puts the city in a predicament where it's unable to build more houses. But then they are also continuing with those plans of the houses that are meant to be rolled out. So these are the situations that these municipalities find themselves in when there are disaster like floodings. Then we see the informal settlements being flooded and people asking for houses, and municipalities saying that they don't have enough funds to assist in those areas, as they are still building for people who've been on the waiting list.
All right, thank you so much. That's our reporter, Nobesuthu Hejana, in Rawsonville in the Western Cape, a community, of course, that was now recently a lot of people, over 1,000 people that's been displaced, and over 300 homes destroyed because of the recent rains and flooding there.